Okay, so I've had quite a few people asking how to process the raw aim and break. So I've took a sample just from YouTube. You can see the name there. Feel free to grab it. Then I've just been listening to some other stuff.
Other really nice breaks from other tracks.
And you can hear there's, distortion, EQ, compression, all going on.
So you're trying to clean up the aim and break and also give it some more character. And I would agree there's not much help online for this.
So I've took the original sample. So the first thing I'm going to do is just speed that up to 170. Now, at this stage, you could process it before you slice it up, but this is what I've done. I've literally just dragged apart that one into the sampler, and it's automatically just looped that bit that I want.
Which is quite handy, as I haven't got to faff about with these markers.
Then from there, I've just gone down to the slice option, and you'll see here that there's these slices that I made. Now, there's a couple of ways to do this. I've set it to 1/8 notes. You could set it to the transient if you wanted, but I quite like the 1/8 notes as
it leaves those markers and gives a bit more character to the break and authenticity maybe.
So here we can see it's on the transient, but here it's not. So moving it off those, and you can play around with this after you've made it, but you can play around with these just to see if you get different sounds. When it's slightly off,
it does have a more authentic sound to that 90s jungle stuff.
I don't know if it's just what capabilities they had, but that's what it sounds like to me anyway. So if I just bang in a MIDI clip and go down to C1, that'll be your first slice. So if I just draw a note in, and there's the first note. I'm just going to put it on 1/8 notes. And you can see you can just play around with it. So you got your different slices. I won't spend too long messing around with this, but yeah, that just gives you an idea. If I just draw in a basic jungle pattern, something like this. And there you can see your samples are being triggered. And then in case anyone's wondering, you can just do a basic pattern like this, and you can just copy this to get it sent started. So processing wise, we'll start with some compression. So I've got 2 compressors on here. They're both kind of heavy, doing a slightly different job. So no compression on here. And then we're just grabbing the peaks at the minute. A relatively fast attack. You can go for the overcompressed sound and you lose a bit of life, but that doesn't mean it's wrong. It's totally up to you. EQ wise, I've kind of done some boosts and cuts. So there's a little boost in the bottom end. I've cut this out, what I don't like.
This is just one of those times again where you weigh up the options. Are you cleaning it up or removing too much body of the snare, etc.?
And then here I've just tried to bring the snare out a bit more. This one is on the ring of it. And then we've just got, there's another one that's kind of on the other resonant frequency of it. Now I put it before compression, as it allows me to give the compressor different tones to work with. You can try putting it after, that's also fine. Then your tone will react differently basically. Bit of high end. There's a lot of high end missing out of this. Let me just try and grab something else. You hear that? Well, that hollow sounding crap. I'm just getting that out. Let's put one more in. There we go. Okay, that's what's bothering me there. All of this.
Again, I'm just weighing up my options. Clarity versus losing too much body of the snare.
Now we've taken some life out of it, but we've tightened it up. Don't want this ringing too much, so let's just see if we can maybe pull that in a little bit. And yes, I could just give you a basic way I'd set this up. It'd be dead easy, but I think if you just watch, you'll learn to listen for yourself. So it's the same with this, with a compressor. If we just listen with the threshold right down, we can hear what the attack's doing. At the minute it's completely smashing it. Now listen to the kick and snare as it changes. You hear how it's letting the click through? The click of the, if you listen to the kick or the snare, it's letting that through slightly. And this is how you can add more of a transient to stuff with compression. So flattened it, and now it's letting it through. To give it more punch, clarity, click, whatever. And then release. That's too fast, too pumpy. And now we can bring the threshold back up. Now you can try adding some width with this, but it sounds awful. You can check the left channel, the right channel, because they're both different. And you can just pick one. Now you'll have a mono signal. Then you can add reverb or widening tools after, which will give it more clarity than just widening the low quality loop. Stereo does also work, but it pulls it to one side, so I think picking one of the sides is best. A bit of reverb I put on here. Out will do for now, but plate works. And then this is where I start to notice we can get some nice character out of it and bring some high end back into the track. Just a preset. Now you can see it's adding in high end there. That's not in the low quality sample I've got, or the original recording, I'm not sure. Then another one, this one's probably too much actually, it's making it thin. So tweak the mix on that, and this one's low as well, this is only 11%. Again, too much, gets too thin. Again, I could just give you, this is what I did, but I think it's good for you to learn that there's a million different tones you can get. That's the game changer, the distortion. I'm just going to pitch it up. Now we're getting there. Shift all these over so I can show you what it's like before and after.
Obviously, bearing in mind it will be louder due to compression. So we've got a bit more clarity out of it, a bit more of a clean sound. So there's your starting point, but as an extra bonus, just some extra options to bear in mind. We can start playing around with things to get different tones. So
that cleans it up straight away, in my opinion. But yeah, let's say we're on stereo, we want a little bit more high end. You can hear the ride coming through.
And if you really want a listening test for those audiophiles out there, you can hear a French bulldog snoring.
Oh, I'm just going to reset all these. So
now you can see what the compressor is going to do when we tweak the EQ going into it.
Now you see how that's letting in the low end? I don't like that. But I do like a little bit of plate on it. So let's see if we can use this. Pull that out. So now we've got the high end mainly being affected by the reverb, which sounds cleaner. Now these two compressors do make a big difference together. If you listen to the tone of the snare,
it's very short and snappy. The compressor's reducing those peaks and we're just trying to get a bit more body out of it, so the compressor will push up the body. And there's loads more stuff you can do, you know, parallel compress it, smash it, but I think that's enough to get you going with the raw loop.